Now you'll learn some manners. Wahoo! Woo! Oh, I look tired. It's been a rough week. My needle drops. It's been a rough week. Time for a review. LP and Killer Mike rap music. Killer Mike is a Georgia rapper, Outkast cohort, and he's been putting out albums and getting some nice featured tracks for well over 10 years now. He even actually put out an LP last year that I regret not reviewing, titled Pledge. Mike is such a forceful rapper. He doesn't have a really intricate flow for the most part or anything like that. He's very much to the point. Mike is great with topical songs. Not only great with topical songs and painting pictures, but he's one of the few rappers that I know who can just switch gears so easily without grinding the clutch from a track that is just conspiracy theory laden, just distrusting of the government, distrusting of society, to a love song or a song about chasing your dreams, and then back to a song about some hardcore gangsta rap rhymes. Another great thing about Mike is that he's got a lot of charisma, and for a guy like that, I imagine it's easy to network, because he has made some really great connections with some of the biggest acts in hip-hop in the South, from T.I. to Bun B, 3 6 Mafia, Paul Wall, Gucci Mane as well, but his connections very obviously reach outside rappers with a Southern style, because this new project is an album-length collaboration with hip-hop experimentalist, rapper, and producer LP. Best known for his solo work, his membership in company Flow, and his beats for the project Cannibal Ox, LP has been really successful in the underground, just like Mike has. For sure, these guys are both very aggressive and very visceral artists, just looking to make music that grabs the listener, shakes them, and just warrants some kind of very fast and adrenaline-pumped reaction. But they've both got their different ways of going about that. Mike and LP do make some notable changes, but the biggest surprise on this thing is how natural this collaboration feels. It was just a match made in, you know. For the most part on this LP, Mike is himself. Maybe there are a few more stories than there are brags on this album, but this thing is still a pretty even mix of not only hardcore and gangsta style rhymes, but some very socio-political and personal tracks on here as well. Even when Mike is doing something very aggressive and action-packed, like on the track Don't Die, where he's sort of on the run from the police and bullets are flying by his head, he will drop some personal information like how his father is a cop. Now, not only is Mike making some minor concessions, but LP is too, because some songs on this album, as far as production goes, have a very Southern style to them, with the clickety and clackety trap style snares and hi-hats, like on Don't Die, Big Beast, Southern Fried, a few other moments too. Mike brings an entirely different brand of aggression to LP's hard-hitting beats. The track Big Beast paints the Atlanta landscape where he's located with gunshots, cocaine, wolves, grimy streets. And Bun B and T.I. drop by to kind of put together the lyrical puzzle. The track Untitled has Mike showing this fear of death, being singled out and killed for rapping about what he raps about and leaving his wife a widow. Whether he's rapping about his Southern roots or telling a story about a guy doing some airport drug trafficking, Mike is always tough as nails. Sometimes he's busting at the government with conspiracy theories, specifically the Reagan administration, but kind of fast forwards to the Obama administration and just kind of sees them as a puppet for a corrupt government. It's not the first time stuff like this has been rapped about. obviously. Sometimes I wish Mike was a little bit more original with the story, brought a different perspective to it, but I will say he is a bit more grim than most when it comes to talking about this stuff. And the title track, the final track on this album, which is amazing, is this hard-hitting and personal painting of what rap music is to Killer Mike. To make a long story short, the genre is basically Mike's religion, and he raps like it, which is what makes him such a captivating MC throughout this album. Now, as far as LP goes, his instrumentals on this album just bring Mike's style a completely different dynamic, a different angle. For the most part, LP has built a reputation on his production as having a nice combination of not only hard-hitting sounds, but kind of kooky sounds too, which is portrayed perfectly on the track Big Beast, where matched up against these huge bass hits and southern style rhythms are these kind of silly and farty synthesizers. It's gritty, but it's also kind of cartoony. It's kind of like reading a hardcore hip-hop comic book, or maybe better yet, a graphic novel. And as if it wasn't already a surprise, LP showcases some really great versatility on this album too, whether he is putting together a short and just straight to the face banger on the track Go, which has these skipping vocal samples. The track Don't Die explodes and just bangs even on a higher level and makes Mike's story about just being on the run from the cops feel kind of like an action movie. In that track WILLIE, BURKE, SHERWOOD that I mentioned earlier, the instrumental on that just hits the perfect sad chord that the lyrics do. I mean, there's just a range of emotions that are approached on this album successfully, tastefully, without any major hitches. As far as issues go on this album for me, there are some pretty hooks for me on this LP, starting with the song Ghetto Gospel. I just do not like how the chorus transitions to the verse on that track. It just feels kind of awkward for me and just slightly out of place, just rubs me the wrong way. And even though the instrumental and the verses on the track Butane are pretty hard-hitting, the hook on that track really underwhelms me. And the song Anywhere But Here, right after that track, has this guest vocalist on it, and she, to me, just does not have that powerful or passionate or charismatic of a voice, and I feel like she's slightly off pitch. But still, those are my negatives, and the positives far outweigh these negatives, far outweigh these negatives on rap music, for sure. Like I said, this album is very tough, it's very hard-hitting, it's like chewing on a burnt steak. Kind of feeling a decent to strong 8 on this LP. I mean, it's just a really solid listen, a great hip-hop album. One of my favorites of this year, for show. What did you guys think of this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What should I review next? Yeah, and that's about it. Anthony Fantano, LP, Killer Mike, rap music, forever.